know I've been on hiatus. Sorry. Been trying to, balance shit out, but I have a lot of stuff happening. Um, so I'm gonna do the reading, and then at some point I just want to have a regular conversation with Ja. So, Spirit's asking you guys to step out of your own way to let them guide you, to let your wisdom guide you. We've all been here, we've all lived, we've all been through our share of shit. So some people are more wise than other people. But um, Spirit wants you right now to kind of take a minute. If you've been dealing with a person or situation, and like I said, it's energy, it can go either way. It could be you, it could be the other person. But one of you, whatever the way this is working out for you, Spirit wants you to just wait, not take any immediate actions, not force things, just kind of see where things are falling into place, okay? And allow people to come towards you. If you've been kind of reaching out and putting in all the effort, and you're the one that's always here, like, hey, 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 stop. It's time to let the other person come to you, okay? So just take a step back and be sure that whatever it is that you have going on, what you've been working on, what you're working towards, think it through, okay? Be sure of what you're doing and the decisions that you're making, okay? Sorry, this was part of the tea that I spilled all over my shit. Fucking, that was a mess. Um, before you come to Spirit and ask for advice or for help or for guidance, whatever it is, it's important that you're open to receive this information, to receive the advice that they're giving you, and be willing to follow it. Because we're quick to say, oh, well, I need you to show me this, or I need help with that, or whatever way it works out for you, but we're not as quick to actually follow it. It'll be like, okay, well, these are the steps you need to take to move out of this situation and to progress to what you're asking for, what you're trying to do. And we'll be like, oh, really? I gotta do that? Good morning, Owen. And in making those decisions, you're kind of like, damn, I did ask Spirit for this, and then they gave me the information I requested, and now you're stuck with it. You're sitting with it, debating on if you're actually going to follow through. Are you going to make the necessary sacrifices? Are you going to do what you need to do to follow your path? And that's kind of where it comes down to when you're calling in Spirit, because Spirit's going to help you, but it's going to be on your spiritual path. It's going to be the path that they have laid out for you. It's not going to be the one that you've laid out for yourself. Okay, while we have our own ideas of how things are supposed to work out in our life, that's not the way things are. Things are the way Spirit wants them to be. So when you come to Spirit, be open to accepting what you're asking. Don't just ask for it and then they give it to you and you're just like, that's not what I pictured and it's not what I see. Don't do that. Okay, allow it to be. So be okay with what they're telling you and be willing to step up and do what you need to do to make it happen, okay? But definitely think things through, okay? Make sure you're making the proper decisions. So think it through and ask yourself, are you prepared to listen? Are you prepared to make those actions? Really sit with yourself, because that's how you're going to find your path, by listening to Spirit and making those difficult decisions, making the uncomfortable choices, So you have to trust yourself and that you know what you're doing and where you're going and what you're trying to do. And I'm sorry, my cards are a little spread out because I spilled my tea earlier, so they're a little bit of a mess and my thing's wet right now. So be okay with making decisions that are for the highest good of everyone, not just what's going to benefit you or what's going to benefit someone else, okay? Because everything is coming to life. Everything that you are trying to do, that you're working on, is here and it's coming to fruition, but you need to be 100% certain that that is the path that you want to take, that that's what you want to follow, okay? So realize that any resistance to stepping back and releasing is really fear just trying to block your spirit, okay? So take a break, take a time out, just be happy. Spirit's calling for you to just be happy, because when you're happy, it allows spirit to move more freely in your life and allows the miracles that need to come in to come in. So change your perspective on things, you know. Lately my thing is, because you know, those of you that know me, I'm a bit of an asshole, so don't judge me. But I find myself like, there's people, if I come across someone and I just instantly feel aggravated by them, or I'm just like, ugh, what the fuck, I try to find something positive to say. So if it's someone that I don't like, I'm just like, okay, well, what can I find that's nice to say about this person? And I'll give a compliment. I'll be like, oh, I like your hair, or I like your nails, or your necklace is really pretty. And just try to shift in that sense and focus on something good, because it's easy for us to focus on the bad. Good morning, Micah. It's easy for us to focus on the bad, but really just be like, okay, well, let me not focus on the bad things about this person or the shit that's aggravating my life. Let me find something good. And the more you do that with the people you encounter in the situations, the more you'll see your perspective change, and the more you'll see your life changing, because you're going to focus on the good and not the bad. So your attention shifts, and that's what you're bringing more in, okay? You're bringing more of the good in. So please do that, because you have to rest. You have to rejuvenate, you know? In order for you to bring in the joy and everything else that you want, you have to give yourself that time out, and you have to understand everything is not always work, 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 and busy, 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 busy. You have to love yourself enough to take the time out that you need. And this is every day, you know, because sometimes we go days or weeks or months without taking a time out, and we burn ourselves out. And I'm good for it, because I'll go days and days and days where I'm just going, 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 and I'm not taking breaks. And you can't do that. You have to take the time out every day for you and show yourself you're important and you love yourself and you deserve that time to you. Even if you're just taking a bath or you're just relaxing, drinking tea, whatever it is, excuse me. Understand that you have to have that part of you so that you can rest, okay? Because when you're resting and you're doing things that make you happy, that's when joy comes in, and that's when spirit's able to work the miracles that they can work. Now, you also have to maintain your boundaries with what you have going on, because there are people that are around you that are going to continue to test you and keep you in a lower vibration and try to keep you where they're at, because they're afraid of growth, they're afraid of change. So you have to be strong in your boundaries, and sometimes that is walking away when you know that you've tried and you've put in all the work and all the efforts that you could have put into the situation. So you have to stand your ground and allow people to fall away, but also do what's best for you. You know, like I said, spirit wants you to be joyful and do things that make you happy, but in order for you to do that, you have to have a cutoff, you have to have a limit. You have to tell people, not today, it's not happening, I'm gonna go take a spa day, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But maintain your boundaries in what you have going on, okay? And don't be afraid to ask for help. If you are working on something, or you're in a situation where you can't see a way out of it, depend on your friends, depend on outside forces to come in and help you, okay? Because right now is the time for you to just kind of take it easy and observe and watch what's happening. But there are people that are going to be there for you, but you have to reach out to those people. You have to allow them to come in and help you, because if you don't do that, then it's not going to work out well, okay? So please just pay attention to what you have going on right now. And your ego plays a big part in you resisting and not getting the help that you need, because your ego is like, no, I don't need help, or I got this, I can do it by myself, I don't need nobody else. And maybe you can, maybe you do have it, but in having it and doing it by yourself, you're burning yourself out, which you're not allowing the joy and the rejuvenation to take place. So you have to understand how when I pull the cards, they just give me, it's really just a bunch of random cards. I have to put the messages together for whoever it is that this is meant for. So as I get the messages, then I deliver them. And sometimes they'll stop me mid conversation and say, no, I want you to say it like this. So then I'll rephrase it. But your ego right now, you need to step out of that and be of service to other people. So if you're the person that needs the help, or if you're the person that has issue offering the help, pay attention to what you're doing and really check yourself, okay? Because a big ego works against you. You know, it's not good. When you're humble and you show humility, things fall into place better because you're coming from a place of love and understanding. But when you're coming from a headspace, you come off as arrogant, and nobody wants to deal with that. Nobody wants an arrogant ass person. I'm not going to ask somebody that's arrogant for help because you're arrogant. How do I know you're not just going to go talk shit about me or throw this shit in my face later? You want someone with a good heart that's compassionate and understanding to help you. So if this is you, try not to do that, okay? Don't do that because you don't want someone to do that to you. And if you are the one that needs help or is going to be offering help, then offer it, but do it from your heart, okay? Don't do it as you're going to do it to gain something or in any other malicious form. You know, don't do it expecting things. And Spirit wants you to, there's one card I want to read. There's a passage that's in the book that I want to read that I feel is very, I don't want to, I'll give my what I get from it, but I want to actually read what the author put in the book. I'm sorry, I can't talk right. All right. So take time, like I said, review your options, review your decisions. If there are things that are coming up in your life that you're like, damn, I don't know what to do, or I need to make this decision, or I have to figure out which way I'm gonna go, sit with it, okay? Don't rush, because whatever decisions you're making now, whether it's to be in a relationship, to move somewhere else, to start a new job, new career, whatever it is that you are going towards, Spirit's asking you to sit with yourself and your decisions and be very clear on the path you are choosing, and be certain that it's what you really want, because it's going to be basically your next cycle. It's going to be your life for the next several years. So whatever decisions you have that you're contemplating on, don't take it lightly. Really sit with it and think about the decision that you're making, because it's going to affect you for a long time. All right? So be certain of that. Sorry. So Spirit wants you to come to them. But when you come to them, come with a clear mind, a clear heart, and have your, like I said, be intentional on what you're doing and what you're saying, because we all have our days where we're like, oh, I really want this, and then something doesn't work out the way it's supposed to, and then we're like, man, fuck that, and then we come back, but I really, really want this, and you're confusing the universe, you're confusing the frequencies, the energy that you're putting out is getting confused, because now it has all these different things and your energy is scattered. So don't scatter your energy and don't go back and forth. Be certain and say, you know what, this is the relationship I want, this is who I want it with, this is why I want this relationship. Okay, ask yourself the questions too. Just be like, well, why do I want this? Should I be doing this? Is this in my best interest? Is this for the highest good of everyone involved? Because we make decisions based on our own personal interests, and that's human nature. That's what everyone does. But when you start your spiritual path, you begin to understand and see that there is a bigger picture. There is a higher purpose for all of the things that are currently occurring. So when you're able to come at it from a place of, okay, well, if I make this decision, how is this going to affect me long term? How is this going to affect that person long term? How is this going to affect everyone else overall, because some of us are families, there's husband, wife, children involved in situations. And if you're not happy in that situation, you still have to take into account the other people, because just because you're not happy doesn't mean they're not happy. But are you really willing to do what's necessary for your life, for the higher good? Are you able to make those sacrifices and say with a clear conscience that this is what's best for me? This is what's best for everyone involved. And sometimes it is. And it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to break up a family. It's not something that's like, oh yeah, fuck it, it's easy, I'm gonna go fucking carry on. It's not that easy. Because you're destroying a foundation. But if it's already a flawed foundation or something that's faulty, don't feel bad for destroying it because it's already corrupted. Build a stronger one. Leave the situation. Sometimes you have to leave the situation. It doesn't have to be forever. But you need that time. You need that space to rejuvenate. You need that time to be happy. You need the time to heal and find who you are to make you happy. And if you are in a relationship where you have children, your children see you. They know you're not happy. They know what's happening. No matter how old, they know what's going on. So please, when you're making these decisions, be certain of what you're doing and really see how it's going to affect everyone, because it might suck at that moment that you're like, damn, I have to do this because it's just not working anymore. But also be like, okay, well, this will be happy, that will make the kids happier, it'll be a better environment, it'll be a better situation, it'll bring me relief, I won't be stressed out. Really look at these things, because it's going to create the life that you want, but you really have to be certain, okay? And help is there to help you get out of this situation, but you have to find the right people, and you have to have that confidence and that trust with those people, okay? I'm sorry, I've had a very emotional day today. So, understand, trying to see if I'm missing anything. When you're stepping into what we don't know, that's the scary thing, is because it's like, okay, well, I know this situation, I'm complacent with this, I know what I have in front of me. It's stepping out into the unknown. When you step into that, when you take that risk, when you take that leap of faith, you're showing spirit that I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm trusting that you're guiding me. I'm trusting your guidance is for the highest good, and it's going to lead me to where I'm meant to be. So believe that, because that's truly what's happening. Spirit is guiding you to where you're truly meant to go. But in order for you to get there, you have to release the ego, because the ego is going to keep you stuck. The fear is going to keep you in a place you don't belong in. And no matter how many blessings Spirit's trying to give you, you're not going to receive them, because you're so stuck and so overworked and just not focused on what they're trying to give you. So don't be afraid of things you don't know. Look at it as an adventure. It's a risk. It's something exciting, like, yay, I'm gonna go on a fucking roller coaster that's like 1,000 feet up and hope you don't die from a heart attack. So let me see. Ask yourself, when you look at your life, can you see the differences that you've made? Can you see how much you've grown? Can you see how much you've changed throughout your life, throughout the years? Like, I can go back to 10, 20 years ago and be like, oh, I was a crazy bitch. But I see how much I've changed. I see how much I've grown. I see how much I've learned. Because as you get older, you become wiser. And that's not factual of everyone, because some people really do, they stay stuck in the traumatic moments of their life and they don't grow past that. For those of you that have grown past those moments, you notice how much you've changed. You notice how much kinder you've become, how your soul has changed, how more understanding and compassionate you are towards other beings. And not just humans, but life overall, You find yourself looking at insects, you don't want to kill them. I'm like, just go away. You don't have to, I don't want to kill you, but I want you to not pee in my space. So please understand, check in with yourself and ask yourself what's going on with you. And oops, I ripped that off. Sorry, I'm a little bit not here today. Now, there's a dream that you've been something you've been wanting for a long time, for your life, for everything, like something you've been waiting for, and it's coming to fruition. But that is the part of being certain that you know that's what you want and what you're actually focusing on, okay? Because there's a lot of stuff that's happening, and as you allow the dream to come true, don't force it, don't coerce it, don't do things too allow it to take its own energy, okay? Allow the dream to unfold the way it's meant to unfold and not the way you envision it unfolding. Because when we put our personal the word I'm looking for, I can't find the word. When we put our personal shit, like we're putting our desires and how things need to work, and we're trying to tweak this and tweak that, we fuck it up. You have to allow it to unfold the way it's meant to unfold in divine timing, because spirit has its own plan for how your life is supposed to work and how everything is meant to happen. Now, if you're not allowing that to happen and you're intervening and you're like, well, I want this person, or it has to happen like this, or it has to be this date, time, whatever the fuck, don't do that, okay? Because it's Spirit's trying to bring it to you, but you're not allowing it. Now it's time for you to ask for help to expand your life. Like I said, there's friends available to you. If you're stuck in a situation, please reach out. And with the adventure that's coming, you know how to deal with it, okay? You have to be okay with everything that's happening as it happens, okay? Now, you have to trust that the new phase that's coming, because like I said, it's going to be a long time, so be sure of your decision, that when you step into it, everything is going to be beneficial. It's going to work out for you, okay? You have to come to your senses and stop thinking so much about what you have going on, because Spirit's calling for you to act from a place of your intuition, from your heart, from your gut, and understanding that doing things based off of cognition, like your mind, your mental space, or analyzing, is fine. They're all helpful tools. They're helpful tools, but that's not how you're supposed to make the decisions you're supposed to make, okay? Use your senses, use your sight, your hearing, all of those things to gather the necessary information and sit with it. But when you go to make that decision, make sure you're making the decision from your intuition, from your heart space, because Spirit's saying that I'm sorry, there's a card here that I want to read. Some of you, not all of you, but some of you are healers, and it's not it's a gift that was given to you. It's something that came from the divine, that they are using you to heal. Okay, that's what Spirit is doing. Spirit's giving you these gifts so that you can use them to heal. And Spirit's saying that the healing, the two major places is your heart. You use your heart to heal, and you use your hands to heal. So you have to make sure that you're cleansing them and protecting them, okay? But you are a healer, and they gifted this to you so that you can be a gift to the world and help other people with their suffering. So if you are very egotistical, you're not going to be able to help people or heal people, because you're coming from an ego space, okay? You have to release that ego and humble yourself and know that you are no better than anyone else. You are the same as the people that need healing, okay? So please, if you are a healer, because it's saying that that's your path, that is your path, that's what was gifted unto you, accept it and be okay with it. And if that is the healing path that you are choosing to continue and to take, be certain, because once you agree to your life with Spirit, a whole another world unravels before you. Like a whole nother world is formed that you're just like, is this really happening? But when you make that decision, understand everything falls into place because Spirit's allowing it to happen. So always maintain the communication. Speak with Spirit. Be honest with what you're communicating and what you truly want in your life, okay? So try not to be resistant to anything in your life, okay? And be clear about your goals. And stepping out of your own way is a really big thing because your ego has you fucked up right now. Oh, sorry, I lost you. Crap. Alright, it's staying still. So, please be still. If you're making a decision and it's a real serious ass decision, make sure that you're putting the necessary thought into that decision. Okay? And do not let other people guide your choices. And especially if you are in this type of relationship, this type of situation, don't let any of those things guide you. Really sit with yourself. Spirit will give you the answers and they will show you the way. Just be compassionate and be understanding, and don't come from a bad place. Because as long as you're speaking your truth and you're standing in your truth, everything's going to work out the way it's meant to work out for you in your favor, okay? So Spirit's calling you, pay attention to the signs. There's giving you a lot of signs. There's plenty of things that keep popping up. It could be a name that you're constantly seeing. It could be a song that you're constantly hearing, or the shitload of fucking numbers. I'm tired of those fucking numbers. I told them, I'm like, listen, when it happens, let me know. I'm like, until then, leave me alone. But pay attention to those signs, because I was leaving one night, the other night actually, and I was driving down my road. It's dark as shit at night, so I'm driving, and I see a possum starting to cross the road. But he didn't keep crossing, so I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, possum? He stops. Right dead in the middle of the fucking road. So that means I stopped because I didn't want to hit him. So I literally parked my car, and he just stood there staring at me. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I reversed the car to just be like, dude, just fucking leave, go somewhere. And then I didn't see him anymore. But those are messages. Those are messages from your guides that are trying to tell you something. So pay attention if you're seeing animals. Look up what they mean, because they all have a meaning, and you have to figure out how it applies to your life. So pay attention to all of these things and look it up and just say, okay, well, this makes sense for this reason, or this falls in line with this, because they all play a role and they all have a message. But you have to be open to receiving the messages, because if you're like, Spirit, give me a message, Spirit, give me a message, and they're giving you the fucking messages, and you're just ignoring the messages, and they're like, well, you asked us for a message, we gave you the message, and because you didn't like the message, you're just ignoring the shit. You can't do that. If you don't like it, sorry, tough shit. But you asked for it and they're giving it to you, so accept it, because you don't want to shit on Spirit and be like, well, yes, I want this and I want that, but I'm not prepared to really do the work or acknowledge what you're telling me, because you have to really be in a place of acceptance and being okay with shit not being how you want it to be. And if you're not okay with that, then don't sit there and be like, Spirit, can you guide me? Can you show me this? Can you do that? No, don't do that, okay? Just don't do that. And are you prepared to listen, even if it means that you're going to have to make a different decision, or it's not going to be the outcome you had envisioned? Check with yourself and see, like, am I ready for this information? Am I truly ready to make the necessary decisions that I need to make? Am I ready to walk away from things that I know I need to walk away from? Sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. Sometimes you're just not at that place. But believe me, you will get there. You will know, because you're going to just feel it inside. You're going to feel it building. So don't be afraid of any of these things, okay? Understand that all of this shit has a purpose for you. So pray for a stillness of mind to receive guidance. And then pray for strength to follow that guidance, because that's the harder thing. Is like, we can get the guidance, but we need to have the strength. We need to have the courage. We need to be brave enough to follow through with that. And some of us don't have that. Some of us are just so consumed by fear, which goes into the ego space, because fear is not real. Fear is not a real thing. So understand, like, all of these things, they all tie in together, okay? But please, when you're making the choices, do what is best for the highest good of everyone, because sometimes you have to be the strong one because the other people aren't strong enough. You have to be the one to say, okay, well, this is it. I'm making the decision for everyone since you're not able to make that decision. And maintain that boundary, maintain that strength, and trust that spirit has your back when you're making these decisions, okay? But if you're that person, make sure you're sticking to it, okay? Regardless of how much crying, yelling, whatever is happening, you stick to the shit that you need to stick to, okay? Don't fucking allow someone else's will to change your destiny and your future and your path, because spirit will blow your shit all the way up. And when I say that, I say it because I've had my life blown up. But looking back at it, I can understand why, because I was hard-headed. I wasn't listening. Spirit was trying to protect me from situations that I shouldn't have been involved in. And even still, me being hard-headed, I forced the situations. I forced these things to happen. And then I suffered. I suffered for a long time. And I can't blame anyone but myself, because I chose these steps. I chose this. This is why Spirit's telling you now to make sure that you are very clear in your decision that you're about to make, because it's going to have a long-lasting effect. So please be very, very clear on what you're doing right now. So make sure, just step out of your own way, just a little bit. Just take a break, put some music on, be happy, okay? But yes, if you've been having arguments, disputes, whatever you have going on, don't be frustrated. There's going to be a fair resolution to all of those things. So just believe that spirit is working on your behalf. And like I said, if you always come from a place of truth and you're speaking from your spirit, you have nothing to fear, because you're being compassionate. Now, if you're just coming out like you're being a fucking dick, you might have some other types of problems. But those are the messages for today, and I'm a little bit emotional today, so bear with me. But yes, you've been called to this healing path, and actually there's a thing. Let me see where it was at. Okay, so here it is. It says the healing gifts you possess are not actually yours. They emanate from divine spirit and are grounded in your body. And it's through your body that this force is focused and expressed. The two areas that are hotspots for this concentration of life force are your heart and your hands. So spirit wants you to pay attention to that, okay? And do whatever you have to do to make sure you keep them energetically cleared. Because you think about all the things that we touch with our hands and the people that we encounter, and we're picking up their energies and all of this stuff, it stays with us, okay? So you find a way to purge it. Envision white light, washing your hands, like things like that. But you can't wash your heart. You cover it with white light though. But yeah, so those are the messages, and please, your life is coming together as it's meant to, by divine spirit, not as you wanted to or as you envisioned it to. So be open to whatever's presenting itself and just see where it goes. Don't be so closed off to it, and be genuine in what you want and what you're asking for, okay? So please, just don't be afraid of the unknown, because think of all the things that you've already done that you weren't sure how they were going to go or how they were going to turn out, and some of them turned out really good, and you're just like, wow, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I took that risk. So just in your mind, say it's going to be an amazing experience, because then you will create that amazing experience. But if you say it's going to be bad, then that's what you're going to create. So don't do that to yourself, okay? Take this step, do what you need to do. Don't worry about other people. It don't fucking matter. They'll have their feelings. Everyone's always going to have their feelings and their opinions, and no, you shouldn't do that, or it's fucked up you did that, or whatever combination of shit. People are always going to talk shit. I'm sorry, I be picking random shit up. So people always going to talk shit. So to don't look to other people to give you advice that you need to go within for. Okay, well, I'm here and I can offer you guidance. I just give you information to kind of go through the motions and to help steer you. But always trust yourself and what you have going on, and don't let other individuals, I don't give a fuck who they are, if it's your husband, if it's your wife, your mother, your father, whoever, do not let those people influence your decisions, because your life is yours alone. You came here for a reason, you have a purpose, and you need to fulfill that purpose, or you're going to come back here in another lifetime and have to go through all this shit again. You don't want to do that. So make the hard decisions. Make the decisions that nobody else wants to make. Say the things that need to be said, and take the necessary steps. Don't be afraid of it, okay? That's your message for today. I love you guys, and I hope it resonates with you. And at some point, I'll probably be back on here, but it'll just be to kind of bullshit. Like I said, I have a lot of stuff going on and a few things I want to have conversations about. I love you. Have a good day.